talking about?
Dogs on the Run begins now.
There we go, a little Dogs on the Run as the Browns get the victory yesterday, 23-13 over the Oakland Raiders. I'm Andy Baskin. He's Andre Knott. They got to win.
It's a win, and it's better than we felt last week. Was it perfect? No. Is this a perfect team? No. But they're 4-3. The next game's in November. Just let that soak in. We're a month away from Thanksgiving. You're still in the playoff run. You're in a weird division. You're in the best division in football, probably. And you're 4-3.
Were you yelling at the game yesterday?
I was yelling and screaming. Wedding and football, you know, it all runs together. I'm going to be all right, though. It's great weather today in Northeast Ohio. It's Victory Monday.
You are our Jordan Cameron. You're going to tough through it.
Yes.
So, plenty to talk about on today's show. Dante Whitner had some interesting things to say about the fans. I think you'll enjoy him. Tim Couch is going to join us in about a minute here. We're going to go back to the newsroom and talk to Faith, and Kenny Rhoda is going to join us as well.
Big day for the road, man, by the way.
Oh, his big day. He's got his new radio show today.
Starts at 3.
And he's already chomping at the bit like 10 seconds into the show. I see him leaning over. He's screening a phone call right now. Eric, the referee, is ready to participate. We'll get to him in about 10 seconds. But like the Helen Thomas from UPI, we start things off with George on Skype One. Hi, George. How are you?
You took all the things I wanted to say about the game yesterday.
We stole all your thunder. We've only been on for 30 seconds. George, come on. You're better than that.
Okay. Seriously. It takes one play, which Dante Whitner, with his hit, created a fumble. Now, the offense wasn't exactly spectacular, but they won the game, like you are saying.
All right, and what does little Brutus say behind you? Is he happy about the Buckeyes, too?
The same way Ohio State. They found a way to win.
That's right. All right,
Very
George.
simple.
As
guys,
always,
you have a great
week,
George.
Okay? You start us off. He's like
nice lead off.
He's Helen Thomas.
He is.
For us, he is.
Very much so.
All right, Eric, the referee, real quick. You can get us up to speed on what you got going on.
I mean, it's just a great win. We got a huge lineup, people to talk. We got Tim Couch standing by. We'll hear from him in a second. Faith, we're actually going to go to Melbourne, Australia, for the Browns backer.
Have another trip with the Bobby.
Nice job.
There's actually 2 Browns backer groups in Australia, so who knew the Browns were hit? It's actually, I think, 11:30 there tonight.
Wow.
So staying up late to chat with us.
So they can have a cocktail with us.
Yes.
Late night cocktail.
All right, keep your flag in your pocket over there. You know what we call him, by the way, in the newsroom? You know what his nickname is?
What?
Eric, the referee's?
Yeah.
Pacific.
Why is
This
that?
is Mr. Time Zone over there.
Oh.
You know why
Yeah,
we
but then
call him-
remember, what was it last Saturday? You said something that was like 7 hours old, and I called you like Hawaiian time.
He did. He got me. He's like 3 hours behind on everything. You know who's on top of everything? That's Tim Couch, and he's hanging out on Skype too. Hi, Tim. Where are you? Is that your penthouse?
Yeah, I'm in West Palm Beach. I'm at my condo. I figured I'd come tough it out and play a little golf today. So
my man. I like it. I want to tough it out like that.
All right. For some reason, some fans around here in Cleveland think that the Browns have won like 30 Super Bowls since 1999. A win is a win, and I just appreciate every win this team gets right now. What were your thoughts on yesterday's game?
very much the same. I think any win right now is a big win. I thought, the way they were able to generate some offense, even though they had absolutely zero running game, I thought was huge. They couldn't do it against Jacksonville when the running game was shut down. They couldn't make any plays in the passing game. This week, they did. Brian, I didn't think it was spectacular, but at the end of the day, his stats looked pretty good, and he played well enough to win the game. And defensively, late in the game, they give you 2 turnovers, and you're able to put 14 points on the board as a result of that. On the offensive side of the ball, that's all you can ask for is your defense to make plays for you. Late in the football game, I thought Joe Hayden was outstanding in this football game, and Derek Carr had he was not shy at all about going after Joe Hayden, especially late in the game, and Hayden responded and made a lot of plays. I thought Paul Kruger played a really good football game, got after Carr. Carr's not a guy who's been hit a lot so far this season. That offensive line has done a great job, so getting after him, I think, was big, forced some turnovers, and overall, I thought it was a great team win, like you guys said. Good bounce back week from how poorly they played against Jacksonville. So good win, and it definitely feels a lot better this week for sure.
Absolutely. Tim, one of the things you always hear, and I've heard a coach say this before, and I kind of agree, easier to learn from a win than a bad loss. I think when you go back and you look at the film today, just like last week, you'll look at the running game and go, okay, how do we fix this? But easier because they won the game yesterday than last week when you're licking your wounds going, okay, we lost a game we should have won, correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I think there's just more momentum and more of a positive vibe within the building after a win. No matter if it was if you struggled in some areas or not, there's things that you can go back and you can clean up. And let's be honest, since Alex Mack went out of the lineup with his injury, they've averaged less than 2 yards a carry. And I don't think any of us expected. We knew it was going to be a big loss. Obviously, he's a Pro Bowl player, he's a great football player, but I don't think we expected that type of drop off in the running game. But he has made that big of a difference. And somehow, some way, they're going to have to find a way to get on the same page in their blocking schemes and the zone schemes that they run, and get this running game going, because this offense really is built around the run game. All the big plays that this offense has had, not all, but most of the big plays in the passing game have really come off of play action. And when you lose that ability to run the football, the offense really slows down. And the wide receiver position is one that we all knew coming into the season was kind of a question mark, and I think they surprised us all early in the season. But I think that was a result of how well they were able to run the ball, and they were getting some favorable matchups on the outside. Now, they're just lining up. They're putting everyone in the box, saying, okay, we feel like we can cover your wide receivers, and you're not going to run the football on us and get these big plays. And they've done that. The last 2 weeks, Jacksonville and Oakland has really shut down the run game, and it's something they're going to have to fix. They're going to have to get that running game back on track, and whatever it's going to take. I'm not sure how they're going to fix that without Alex in there, but however they're going to have to fix it, they're going to have to do it and try to get this offense up and going again.
Yeah, it's all complimentary when you look at it offensively, and they lose another big piece. You got 3 games in 12 days, counting yesterday. And now Jordan Cameron, we all know how the concussion situation's dealt with. I thought they went to him early yesterday. They wanted to get him going. He has a concussion, and now you kind of hold your breath because you get Tampa on Sunday. 3 days later, you're down in Cincinnati for maybe the biggest game the Browns have had in the last 10 years, guys. So I think we'll all be paying attention to what's going on with Jordan Cameron this week, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously a huge part of the offense. Thought he was off to a great start yesterday in that football game before he took the big hit across the middle. And but he's a guy they're going to have to rely on. When you're not getting a lot of big-time plays on the outside from the wide receivers, a tight end like Jordan is someone you can really take advantage of. He's a great player, and you've got to get him back out on the field. And hopefully, like you said, we can get him back out there as soon as possible.
All right, Tim, we got the phone lines are packed here right now, too. So if you're on the phone lines, hang on a second. We're going to go back to the newsroom here in a minute, too. I want to ask you 2 questions. One, can you kind of explain zone blocking to people that are trying to understand it? I was trying to explain it to somebody the other day, and I was like, it's like when you have your car and you're driving up to one of those turnpike tolls, and you got to figure out at the last second which lane to get into at the right time. Is that a fair way to assess it?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I think it's just, you're blocking an area. You're getting out in space and you're trying to, just block the guys that show up in your area. It's different than the man scheme where you're just, picking the guy in front of you and, you're taking that guy. It's, everyone's, just getting in an area and blocking in a zone. And, yesterday I thought Oakland did a good job of, penetrating that zone scheme. They were getting across the face of the offensive lineman, and that's what kills it. If the offensive linemen aren't in sync and everyone on the same page, their steps have to be perfectly in sync. And that's what you lose when you lose a guy like Alex Mack, who's such a veteran and can get everyone on the same page in these blocking schemes. And the helmets have to be in the right place. Their footwork has to be perfect and all in sync. And when it's not, you get some leaks in the protection, and you get some penetration in the backfield. And that's what these running backs are seeing right now. There's just really nowhere to run. There's no holes out there for these backs. We all know these backs are very capable guys, and when they get a little penetration, pretty much when they're getting the handoff, it's very difficult for them to make a guy miss that deep in the backfield and try to make something happen. So it's just about getting on the same page and everyone understanding. It's about fundamentals, really. Getting your helmet in the right position, footwork, and all that. Like I said, and it's really what makes it go.
Tim, last question for you. Why do you think quarterbacks and other teams are picking on Joe Hayden now? You think of all the guys you'd want to pick on, he'd be the last one.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't understand why they're doing that. I guess, early in the season, he gave up a couple big plays here and there, and everyone maybe thought he had lost some confidence, maybe was a little bit vulnerable. But, I think that couldn't be further from the truth. I think Joe has played pretty well this year, other than, a couple plays here and there he would like to have back, of course. But, he's a high-profile guy, and, it's normally you see quarterbacks, go away from that situation, especially rookie quarterbacks like, Carr yesterday. But he decided he was going to, take those matchups. When he saw 101 on the outside, he didn't really care if it was Joe or whoever it was on the outside. He was going to take what he thought was a good matchup that he felt his wide receivers could win. But Joe stepped up time and time again, especially late in that football game. Obviously, he had the big fumble recovery off Whitner's hit and set up a touchdown on that one. So I thought he played a great football game. And, I wouldn't, if I was a quarterback, quarterback playing right now against the Browns, I wouldn't try to make my living throwing against Joe Hayden.
No doubt. But he threw 54 times. You guys got to throw at him sometime.
Yeah.
54 times a rookie quarterback? Are you kidding me? Wow.
It's a sore arm this morning. Tim, thank you. We're going to check back in with you in a half hour.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Enjoy sunrise down in Florida, man. That looks awesome back there.
Other thing, before we go to the phone.
All right, let me take Todd real quick. Hey, Todd, you're on Dogs on the Run. Hi, Todd.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for hanging on for a while there.
Hey, you know what? A win's a win, and I'm happy to have it. And I'm still impressed with Hoyer. The fella seems to find a way to win when things are falling apart around him. The offensive line, oh, what a struggle right now. Why we have no running game, in my opinion. And Hoyer was 19 for 28. That's 68%. That's by far in the average of what the other quarterbacks were doing in the league yesterday.
I agree, Todd. He has a couple bad passes. And, you know, the thing that stands out to me, and I know people don't want to hear this, he's not a great quarterback, and he needs the guys around him to complement him. We all talked about this receiving core, 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. Without Josh Gordon, this is an average or under average receiving core, right? And that's no offense to anybody. You don't have anybody that blows the top off of the top end of it with speed. There's Josh Gordon. Jordan Cameron's been hurt the entire time. And now without a running game, and I'm not making excuses for Brian Hoyer. He's not perfect. But, geez, can we give it – I mean, what do you expect from this guy?
All he's doing is winning. I mean, last week he's had one clunker, one really good game against Pittsburgh. Everything else has come down to the wire.
I'm more down on the offensive line right now.
Well, and Todd, any other points? Still there?
Yep, still here.
You
Yeah,
good?
it's fortunate that we had the injuries on the offensive line. It's just something the coaches have to deal with, and they got to find somebody that can step up the plate. And the penalties yesterday on the offensive line were just, oh my gosh, another the same thing.
All righty, Todd, thank you. Appreciate it. Look, you got a center that hasn't practiced more than 2 weeks trying to step out on the field right now. And you've got guys playing out of position last week. I mean, there are issues on the offensive line, but, you have an entire training camp to get ready with a center.
Yeah,
and now you've had less than 2 weeks to try to get ready?
It's the NFL. You got to play.
I get it. I mean, but
here's the problem they're having with the running game.
That's like trying to tell you, and brain surgeon is my line that I use all the time.
If you guys had to lose one position on the offensive line, would it be the center?
Here, I'll give you one. Left tackle is the one that's most important. It's a good question, though. In this offense with the running game, and Tim brought up the blocking, and you mentioned going through. The problem they're having is the great thing about zone blocking is you can cut back, and the center is the main guy that cuts the backside. Now they're getting they're getting their butt kicked at the point of attack as well.
Right.
But when you're getting your butt kicked at the point of attack, if the center can cut off the backside, there's somewhere to cut back to. Right now, there's nowhere to cut back to. This is the second week in a row that the Raiders have played a team that uses zone blocking. So that was just something they were ready to go against. It is a problem. As we said last week, the blueprint is out on how to stop the Browns. Their passing game doesn't work without a running game. And I don't care who's at quarterback. Johnny Manziel's a 5'11 guy who needs to get to the outside. He'd have the same problems that you have with Hoyer.
But no one wants to hear that. Let's go back to the newsroom for a second. Faith Boone standing by in the newsroom. She's been waiting very patiently. Hi, Faith. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you guys?
All right. How can people get involved in social media this morning?
Well, they can find us on Twitter under WOOZ and make sure that they're using the hashtag Dogs on the Run. And we also have a Facebook post up that you guys can join the conversation with.
All right. So WOOZ is WEWS. That's hashtag WOOZ. And what are people talking about this morning?
Really, it's a lot about how the game was so sloppy. And I watched the game yesterday, and you guys both know that I'm not that big of a football fan. But now that I've been doing this for Dogs, I've been watching the games. And not only me, but the Twitter fans are just very confused at how sloppy the game was, not just the Oakland Raiders, but about the Browns, too, because everybody was making mistakes left and right.
Yeah, it was sloppy, and I won't go against that, Faith. But it's better the feeling today than it was a week ago, right?
Yeah. But that Carr guy, what was his problem yesterday?
He's a rookie. He doesn't know any better.
Oh, he's a rookie. Okay, see? I'm learning new things every day.
There you go. He was new and fresh at this. So wouldn't you blame their offensive coordinator who lets a guy on the road throw 54 times?
The Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders.
That's why they haven't won a game yet. So. All right, Faith, one more time for folks to get involved.
On Twitter, follow us at WOOZ, WEWS, and on Facebook, we're also under WOOZ5.
Faith, ask them this, or I guess I'm asking right now.
Yes.
Do Browns fans like the 4:25 start at home?
I will see. I know I didn't because I turned on my TV at 1 and I did not see a game. Not the game I was supposed to be watching anyway.
I kind of like the stadium with the lights on and all that, and a little bit. I didn't mind it. I get it, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of cool yesterday.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Faith, thank you very much. All right, so we'll ask that.
You're
We're going to go to Kenny Rhoda in 1 second. Bye, Faith.